so good to see two surfers who, like you said, are proper alphas with a full-blown entitlement complex to win in that event. And I'll tell you why I did Dr. .01. That was because Philippe's, essentially event-winning wave was missed. It happened during an ad break, and then there was a bit of confusion around it. The replay, I'm not sure if they didn't show the takeoff or if I missed the takeoff, but that wave come at me out of nowhere, the biggest single wave score of that heat, and there was just, I was kind of baffled. I was like, whoa, that was a 9. Like, what happened up the point? I assumed that he teed off up the point, but it turns out that the 2 turns I saw was actually the 9. I was kind of confounded by that. I didn't feel like that was a score north of 9 watching it. But as you mentioned, Vaughan, off air, which we can talk about now, what it looked like in the flesh compared to what you saw on TV. Two very different things, especially given that it was a replay. Joe Turpel, his calling of that wave was tepid at best. He didn't see excellence in it either in the call, but maybe he was watching the replay as well. But there was just a lot of confusion around that wave, which was a bit of an error on behalf of that's like it's like the fucking grand final win and try. Like, you can't miss that at an ad break, especially in a sport like surfing where action is at such a premium. So that was a bit of a drop ball, a slight blemish on an otherwise perfectly administrated and broadcasted event.
Yeah, man. So the commentators are watching TV. They're seeing exactly what you see. It's the point. The setup is on the point. You can see all the action going on behind you, but you're sitting there facing a screen and you're just calling off the screen exactly like everyone else. Even in real time, that wave would have been showed to Joe as he was calling the replay, probably in slow motion. I can't remember because I didn't see it, but on the point. I agree. Like, in retrospect, looking back at it, you're kind of like looking at the waves and you're comparing them and you're going, wow, well, fuck, this thing looks kind of nowhere near as good as Julian's, like 3-turn hanger with a fucking air rev on the end. But the difference is that the speed of Toledo in the moment, watching it on the point, and what it felt like then was just pure aggression, pure muscle, Formula One surfing. And you just don't get that when you are following the surfer with the TV camera. You just don't get it. You don't get anywhere near the distance they travel. You don't understand the sort of punchiness of the ride, particularly in slow motion, man. It's like the NRL bunker, dude. Like, you just watch something over and over and over and you find more reasons to either believe or not believe what's going on in front of you. But I saw a really cool story that I think Jack O'Neill wrote for Stab, and he sort of like puts it to a few crew, expert crew, Fanning, Taj Burrow, and TB makes the point. He's like, man, you just don't get speed. You've got no idea watching the screen just how fast crew are going, how hard they're hitting the lip. And in real time, when you saw that wave and you heard the crowd go off, it felt like in Origin when someone makes a break. It had that sort of energy to it. And it was so fucking steep and fast and put together in this one line. It was over before you even knew what you were looking at. And he was like, he's got that ability to get kind of air off lips and just stomp these finishes that just have so much drama to them. In retrospect, like looking back at it, it's hard to sort of see how that wave could score higher than Julian's best wave. But it just, in real time, man, it actually felt psycho. It looked psycho. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, totally. And I think it was just the lack of emotion and energy that came through the broadcast that kind of undersold it to those of us watching on TV. And there was a lot of bafflement out there in the surf punditry and surf public about that score. It blew some minds.
You just, like, the speed difference between Julian and Filipe was really obvious in the heat of watching it. But the power difference, the muscle of Julian's carving turns to link was a huge separation between him and Filipe as well. Feels like so quick and it's all so perfect. It's all so knifey. But Julian's got a bit of like thug about him where like the blows look kind of like bigger and heavier, like speedball versus heavy bag kind of shit. It was crazy.
I think the right surfer still won the heat. And the judges were unanimous in that. There was some serious scope in the scores they were dishing out though, particularly around the slob air reverse. We can get into that in a bit more detail. But yeah, we do have to kind of figure out where the scale should be between a full road air reverse, a slob air reverse that isn't full road, which is more technical, which has a higher degree of difficulty. I'm not the best person to ask about that. I have heard it said that, air reverses, the full road, it's a more natural rotation. Like straight airs have sometimes a higher degree of difficulty than a full road air reverse. I think Callum Robson was saying that on the broadcast just because the way the hips explode out of lip, there's a natural kind of rotation to that. The slob air reverse, the way it inverts the tail, you just don't see them done. You don't see technical grabs in the mix with rotations very often, which says to me that there's a super high degree of difficulty in that maneuver that's not really understood by anyone other than those who can do them, and not many people can. So yeah, I do wonder the split there between Jules's. It came in under the 8.33 that Toledo dropped for the full road air at an 8.1. I think two judges gave him the nod though, gave him an 8.5 and an 8.3. It's a moot point in a lot of ways because neither of those scores counted in the end. They were both thrown away. Yeah. But mate, incredible heat.
Yeah,
incredible
heat. The air thing is definitely a funny one. It's all the big straight air that Jules did, the big one. Oh yeah. That thing had everyone just jaws on the floor kind of moment. That was crazy. And the thing with the slobs and the technical airs is they have a degree of difficulty that, as you say, that only the people who can do them kind of understand that technical difference. But the slob air reverse is such a cool looking turn. But then if you look at Philippe's 10, for example, there's a point in that air where you can see on his face that he's lost himself in the rotation a bit. But he's that quick-footed and that able to sort of make these micro adjustments in the moment that he just stomps it that clean. And at that stage, the technical air thing just kind of goes out the window because it's so, even by his standards, such a fucking such a good one. And I just think that's really what it comes down to. If Julian had done something like a stale fish air reverse, like a turn that nobody can do except for maybe him and maybe Joel Vaughan, maybe Al Cleland, not sure.
Yeah.
But
in this iteration, Chloe was a specialist at him.
But the slob is, that's a turn that's been done in heats for a long time. AI was doing them forever, so I don't know.
Yeah, slob air reverses though.
Maybe not slob air reverse, but I mean, Andy was definitely doing big slobs.
Slob straighties. Yeah. It's a natural kind of grab to go to.
Yeah.
I think what got Jules the score was not necessarily the slob, but just a pure height. And it's a good point that you make. Big and buttery
height and huck it.
Yeah, beats the smaller and technical. And I don't know if that's right, but that's the way the judges see it, and I guess that's the metric to abide by.